Hey, what's up guys? This is RJ Nathaniel.
This is Bri Norwood.
My name is Daniel Lopez.
What's up y'all? My name is Xavier Wilcher.
And you're watching To The Top on Vybez Network.
I'm sitting on top of the world. Oh, I'm sitting on top of the world.
Hello, my name is Bri Norwood.
Baby, look at me and tell me what you see.
I am from Fort Washington, Maryland, and I've been dancing professionally 5 years, but been training since I was 3. Well, I started in a dance studio, local dance studio in Maryland, but my parents didn't want entertainment for me, so they pulled me out at 13. And my grandmother, she took her social security check and paid for me to go back to the studio that I was going to. And so I kind of call myself a late bloomer because those essential years of stretching and, you know, getting that strong technique I kind of lost. But from about 13 and a half to 18, I was at this dance studio, and then from there I auditioned for AMDA, which is the American Musical Dramatic Academy in New York, at 17 before I went to college, and I didn't get in. I was really devastated because I had a strong passion for musical theater and wanting to be the first African American to play all these leads that normally white people do. But God didn't have that in my plan, so I ended up going to HBCU. Shout out to Virginia State, and continue my training there. I am trained in all styles, but I guess I competed heavily in tap and was a strong competition tapper as a child. And yeah, from there I moved to Atlanta to continue my training in the commercial world, and that's where I'm now. I started, kind of a funny story. I started dancing before I walked, my family says. But I guess what initially got me inspired to dance was Liza Minnelli. Liza Minnelli and Janet Jackson, for me, is why I started dance, what inspired me to movement, music, the arts, etc. I was 3, I still remember this memory very vividly. I was 3 years old, and we don't have Virgin Records now, but Virgin Records back in the 90s. I was in the mall with my grandmother, and we were walking past, and I saw this lady singing New York, New York. And I'm just like, Grandma, like, who is that? And, you know, she's very cultured. She knew who Liza Minnelli is. Not a lot of people know who Liza Minnelli is, and that's okay. I'm gonna tell you who she is. She's a huge star on Broadway. Bob Fosse kind of cultivated her and made her the great that she is. Her mother is Judy Garland from The Wizard of Oz. And so that particular performance of New York, New York just sparked something and ignited something in me to want to know what the artist was, to, you know, what is movement, what are all these sequin dresses. And I think that carries into my life now, because I'd rather put on sequins than my regular outfit anyway. But I say that to say that's what initially struck the passion and struck the interest in the arts and dance, was seeing Liza and then going to the Velvet Rope tour in 2nd grade. I was in there in DC. Shout out to my mom. Had no business being in that arena. It was called the MCI Center then, before it was called the Verizon Center now. I was in 2nd grade, and I saw Usher. He was doing the My Way tour. He was opening up for Janet. And that was my first time remembering seeing a full-on live performance. And I was just like, whoa, I want to do that. I want to be this when I grow up. My dance heroes are Bob Fosse, Jaquel Knight, and it'd be a mix between Sid Charisse and Debbie Allen. And I put them in one and the same because even though Debbie was more so in her prime in the 80s and 70s, Sid Charisse kind of came from that same background of being a triple threat. What saddens me about the dance community now, if you look at older dancers and older choreographers from the 50s and the 40s and the 60s and the 70s, these dancers were triple threats. They could sing on camera, they could dance on camera, and they could act. Most dance jobs back then in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you had to be able to do those things in order to work. You couldn't just have an agency call and be a dancer for the scene in a film. No, you had to be able to sing in the film, speak in the film, and dance 10 numbers in the film. You know, like The Wiz or Ziegfeld Follies. These are, if you don't know what these movies are, you need to look them up. But those are my dance heroes that if I had to think right off the bat, who inspire me, who I feel are pioneers in this culture of dance and movement, and who push me to want to be a better performer and think out of the box. So, yeah. The Atlanta community inspires me because Atlanta will take in anybody and make them great. You know, willingly. Before I moved to Atlanta, I was spending my last in college making wigs, making hair conditioners for people to get on a bus, a Chinese bus. I don't even know if the kids know about the China bus to New York for $20. This is before Mega Bus. Like going back and forth up 95 to audition for MSA, for Block, for different Broadway situations. And New York shut its door on me. And I don't take that negatively in the sense of it just was like, what is this? Light, blonde, thick, what is this? Not even looking at the talent, it was just like, I've been on the bus 10 hours to get to you and you've typecast me 2 minutes and I'm already back to the bus. Whereas when I moved to Atlanta, it was just kind of like, who is this? She's interesting, you know, where are you from? We know you're not from here. Come take some classes, let's love on you a little bit. Let's, you know, I had people like Diddy, shout out to Diddy as far as helping me, like she helped me figure out my hair situation, my wig situation. I've met so many amazing people while here, not just to name one, but right off the bat as far as when I first moved. Atlanta is not jealous of anybody. If you need help, you're gonna be able to find it. If you're dope in class, we're gonna tell you you're dope. We're not gonna stare at you and then find a way to dance next to you and steal your swag and no. We clap for each other at auditions, genuinely. You know, when one of us book a job out of the state, you feel like the whole community is behind you because it's just like, wow, out of all of those LA dancers, there was 2 Atlanta dancers, or there was 5 Atlanta dancers, or now there were 10 Atlanta dancers. You know, when we go out to other places, people say at auditions, you don't dance here. You're not from here. Where you dance at? Oh, Atlanta. That makes sense. You know, so Atlanta is a jewel. Everybody looks at Atlanta for the hottest moves, but also for the sauciest dancers. Like, even if they don't want to book them, they're still staring at them. They're still silently ghost following us. You know, and not me. I ain't even speaking for me. I'm talking about the other amazing dancers. Because I mean, I know my lane. I know what I'm good at. I'm not even speaking about myself at this point. You know, I still look at myself as a member of the community that can grow. Because what I will say as an older person in the Atlanta community now, I feel like I'm now old, being here about to be 5 years. Sometimes older people can get complacent and you find yourself love-hating dance because it's a bill to you now. It's how can I pay my rent? Whereas when I first moved, I just wanted to be in class. I just wanted, you know, that's when GDA was still here, working at GDA, trying to learn as much as I can. So Atlanta's amazing. And I'm so grateful to say that Atlanta cultivated my gifts and helped me, you know, follow my dreams. All right, without thinking about it, it would be, it's gonna have to be 4, and I'll explain why. It would be Underground with Draco Johnson. I Ain't Thinking About You episode of Star with Sean Bankett. Tap episode of Step Up with Savion Glover. and Beachella with Jaquel Knight and Chris Grant. Those are, I guess, to date, my, I don't know, most iconic and monumental accomplishments in dance for me. Just quickly going back over, doing underground, being stripped of everything, really showed me just what I should be grateful for. Working that job, not wearing any makeup, not having any wigs, having no shoes on, you know, being out there in the sand, depicting my ancestors and what a day off to them was like when it was still hard as hell, really showed me what I need to be grateful for. And that although we may have gotten to a point where we think we're free, we're really not. We've got a long way to go. So thank you, Draco, for that experience. I Am Thinking About You Fosse episode for me was my favorite episode on Star. It was my favorite job thus far with Sean. To me, he is the Black Fosse in his musicality and his choices. And I thought I was just so privileged to be able to do Rich Man Frug and to know what that was prior to learning about what we were doing. That it just was awesome because it was like basically doing two things that I love, which is Fosse and that whole movement. So that was amazing for me. What else did I say? Oh, Savion Glover. As I told you, I was a competition tapper as a child. So being able to tap with the icon, you know, Savion Glover, and studying him in the movie Tap and the Cotton Club with Gregory Hines, and knowing who he was and what he's done for our community, that was just amazing. He was a very nice person. He taught me a lot, and I think I've become a better tapper just off of that job. So that was awesome. And then finally, Beachella. Like, I never was more proud to be Black, to be a Delta, to be an alumni from a HBCU. And I feel like for me, that experience was a job I truly tried to manifest. Like, that I really said out loud. I didn't notice how many times I said it out loud as far as I wanted to dance for Beyonce, but for me, that was really like having the opportunity to see a childhood dream come true. And really, in retrospect, not as long as it may have taken others. So it was a one-in-a-lifetime experience, one I will never forget. And I'm so grateful to Jaquel and Chris for making that dream come true to me. So. I don't want to disclose my future goals because you're just gonna have to wait and see. But no, it's gonna be a full day!